Okay, we are good to go.
Okay, thanks, Fahad. Everybody. Sorry, my screen started doing something funny. Okay, good morning, good afternoon, guys. Welcome to our live with GKhair. I'm so excited to be able to share some awesome education with you today. My name is Candace, and I am a GKhair educator, and I'm originally from Oklahoma. And I have been educating with the company a little bit over 2 years now, and I have been using the line for about 4 years. So today I'm here to share with you GKhair's mission, which is to inspire beauty professionals through cutting edge technology. The company is constantly evolving in innovation and the passion to encourage and promote artists to create beautiful, healthy hair in this industry. So let's kind of talk about who GK is. So GK, we are on 5 different continents and we are in over 87 countries in the world. And what makes GK so special and so different is the term Jevexin. And GK owns the science on Jevexin. So what is Jevexin, right? Jevexin is our anti-aging keratin protein blend. So it's optimized to restore the hair and make it go back to a more youthful state. Um, and this ingredient is going to be found in not only our taming system that we're going to talk about today, as well as our color. So today you guys are really lucky because we're going to kind of cover 2 different areas within the GK line and how you can incorporate those together. So today we will be covering our treatment, the best, which is our original best formula, and then also a basic color application, and then how you can actually do these 2 services in one day. So Jevexin, right? Anything you look where you see GK, you are going to see this on our bottles. It's going to say hair taming systems, and it's also going to say with Jevexin. So again, Jevexin is this wonderful anti-aging keratin protein blend, and we take it and it's derived from sheep's wool, and it's through an environmentally friendly process. And the cool thing about Jevexin is that it's actually comprised of 2 molecules. And so there is a small molecule and there's a larger molecule. And what these molecules do is the smaller molecule is actually going to go in and it's going to penetrate the hair. And so when it penetrates the hair, it's actually going to help heal the hair from the inside. And then the larger molecule is actually going to kind of wrap around that hair cuticle, and it is going to provide a protective shield around your hair cuticle. And that's going to protect it from such things as free radicals, UV rays, which is a really big topic I feel like lately, as well as pollution. So the Jevexin that we're talking about is again found inside not only our taming system, but also our products, as well as our color. So our cream color is actually a Jevexin cream color. So today, since we're going to demo not only the smoothing, but also color, what I want to kind of start with is talking about our Jevexin cream color line. And I'm just going to walk you guys through our color book a little bit. I'm going to show you what it looks like. I'm also going to show you the amazing shades that we have available. And then from there, we'll move forward into the steps of the best smoothing. And we're going to kind of talk about how you can perform that service as well as your color service in the same day. Okay, so I hope you guys are excited because I am super excited to share this with you. So this is our GK color book, and I like to call it my hair Bible. And you can see right on the front, really big, it says Jevexin cream color, and it even has a little picture of fortified with Jevexin. So that's why it's so important for us to always start off our conversation with our clients, and even as an educator, about Jevexin and what it is, because it's such a major component of who GK is as a line. So of course, this is our book, and inside on the front cover, we have, I'm gonna move my little mannequin here before I knock her down. we have how it's used. So not only do we have our book, but we also have instructions for you. I know sometimes, like behind the chair, if we're using different things, sometimes we need to like remind ourselves. So I really appreciate the fact that we have a full explanation in the front of our book. And it's also available in several different languages on the front of the book as well, which again is really awesome aspect of GK because we're able to fit every need. So at the front, it tells how it's used. It has your mixing ratio. So whenever it comes to GK color, we always mix our color, our regular cream color, 1 to 1.5, and our super lighteners, which we'll talk about just a little bit more, 1 to 2. And again, that's right up here in your instructions. And then for gray, for regular processing time, we're gonna do 30 minutes. And then for our gray coverage, that's gonna be a 40-minute timing. And then it also has the procedure, and then it has our high lift super lightener procedure right here, as well as gray coverage. So it pretty much does all of the explanation for you. So it's not something that you have to like dig for and try to find. It's right here in the front of your color book or your hair Bible. We have our Juvexen Cream Color Line Natural Level Finder. And what I really like about this book is you're able to actually take this out of the book and you're able to take it and hold it directly up to your client's hair. So then you can actually find their natural hair level. I know this is back to like beauty school one-on-one, but I always want to advise you whenever you are doing your consultation for a color with your client that you actually will take your level finder when you're determining which level to use. And we like to go towards the back of the head in the middle because sometimes this hair could be a little bit lighter from sun exposure, different things like that. So I always encourage you to take that level finder right back here and find their true and natural level. So again, just another really great point of our color book is the fact that this is able to be removed so that you can hold it directly to your client's head to determine their natural level. We all know with any service whatsoever in this industry, it's so important to start with your consultation. So this level finder is a great tool to add to your consultation with your client. And we'll talk about that a little bit more as we move into the step-by-step processes of what we're doing today. On our first page of our color book, you're gonna see that we have our Intense Naturals. And so these are gonna be your 0.0 line. Anything that comes from GK that has a 0.0 is going to be your gray coverage. So our 0.0s can provide up to 100% gray coverage. They're also double pigmented, so you're gonna get that amazing coverage with those. And we have everything from 9.0 to a 5.0. And you can actually add these in any mixture that you're making with GK in order to give you that gray coverage that you're looking for. And then underneath our Intense Naturals, we actually have our Cold Naturals. And these are gonna be your 0.01s. So with our Cold Naturals, these are gonna have a little bit more of a ashy tone to them. So whenever you're really trying to eliminate any type of warmth, orange, brassiness in the hair, these are gonna be your go-to to help you eliminate those unwanted tones in your client's hair. After that, we're gonna move on to our 0.1s. So our 0.1s in our GK color line is actually our Ash series, and we have some really, really beautiful ashy tones. I personally wear the 1.1, which is my favorite of all times. And these provide some really very beautiful on-tone colors. And I like to use our 0.1s a lot for toners. So in GK's color line, it's important to remember that we have 87 intermixable shades, meaning you can create a demi or a permanent with any color in this line, depending on the developer that you use. So if you're wanting to tone with our cream colors, like I said, the 0.1s are my favorite toners, one of my favorite toners from this line. You are gonna mix this with an 8 or 10 volume developer, and that's gonna create your demi color. If I wanted this to be a more permanent color, that's when I'm gonna use my 20 and my 30. We also have our goldens and our ambers. So these are some really beautiful shades. These are going to end with our 0.3s. And we use an international numbering system. So if you're familiar with the international numbering system, GK is a really easy line for you to understand because we're using that basic system. So we have our goldens and we have our ambers. In our amber lines, we have some really pretty coffees, as well as some really pretty caramels, and then white chocolates. So even the names of the colors my clients really love, because they sound amazing and they look amazing as well. We also have our coppers and our mahoganies. So we have some really gorgeous shades in those as well. Coppers are going to be your 0.4s, and then our mahoganies are your 4.5s and 0.56s. So again, some really pretty shades. I just kind of wanted to show you guys some of the different shades that we have available with the GK color before we hop right into our class. And then we move on to our Pearl series and our super lighteners. Our super lighteners are going to have a higher ammonia level. These are going to be a 3% ammonia, and they can actually provide up to 4 levels of lift. So these are a really great tool for breaking a base. You can tone with these as well, even with your 8 and 10 volume developers. They are an amazing tool to have in your toolbox to reach the desired levels that you're needing. We also have our Pearl series, which is, again, another one of my favorite toners. I know a lot of people ask me, how do I tone using GK's line? And this is how it's going to the shades that they provide that have amazing dimensions. So we have a 1-2, and then we also have a 2-1. So it gives you the option to kind of knock out your oranges, your yellows, and that's a very, very, very pretty toner series. And it can be, again, used as a standalone color as well. We have ice chestnuts as well as sands. So on our sands, these set off a really, really pretty tone as well for your dimensional blondes. And these are going to be a little bit of a green base. So they're also going to help you get rid of any red undertones. And then we have our 9-1 series, which is our ice chestnuts. And being 9-1, they have some ashy color in there. So these are also going to help if you have a brunette that's trying to knock out some of those warm tones. Our 9-1 series is going to help that and create a really beautiful cool brunette. Then we have our chocolate series. So these are our 9-9s. And anything that's going to be a double number after your original number means it's going to be double pigmented. So that means it's going to have that extra chocolate boost in there, and it's going to give you some really pretty warm color brunettes, and then even some warmer tones if they want some warmer tone low lights within their blonde moving into the fall. The ice chestnuts and the chocolate lines become very, very popular for me in the fall time. And then we have our GKhair reds and our irises. So our irises are going to be our red violets and then our reds. So GK is very known for our reds because our reds are so rich and so beautiful, and they stick very, very well. So they are great for, again, moving into those fall, right, warm colors. When we start moving into more of our reds, our coppers, even our plum colors, our red violets, this is a really great color swatch to be able to show your clients when they're looking for those red colors. Today, we're actually going to demo a little bit of the 7.26, the Irise, on the front of our mannequin. So it's a really, really beautiful color to transition your clients into the fall. And then on the back of our color book, we have our color wheel. We all know, being colorists, this is basically everything that we need to know to create the colors that we need. But not only is this just a color wheel on the back of your GK color book, if you're someone who is hopping into color straight out of hair school, I know my daughter starts hair school Wednesday. One of the biggest things that she's kind of overwhelmed with learning is the color wheel. I was able to sit down and really show her how GK not only has the color wheel in the back, but if you can see within the color wheel, it also lets you know which color in the series is within that color in your color wheel. So if you're needing to knock out some really warm colors like yellows and oranges, it kind of helps you take the guesswork out because you can actually go right across in your book and it's going to tell you which number and which level of color to use. So if I'm needing to knock out some red copper color, I can look right across my color wheel, and with copper, I can go right across here and I can know that I can pull an 812, a 1012, or a 912, and that's going to help neutralize those tones. Just depending on whatever level that you live to. So again, GK kind of thinks it all out for you with this amazing color book. So I just wanted to kind of show you this a little bit before we do hop into demoing a color, because I think before you even talk about GK color, it's so important to talk about all the beautiful shades that we have available and the tools that GK gives you in order to use their color. So this is the GK color book, very beautiful, nice marketing, and that is it. So do we have any questions about the GK color book? I just kind of wanted to get you guys a little familiar, let you look at it and kind of show you what shades of color that GK does have available. No questions? All right. So today we are going to demo our GK smoothing system, the best, as well as a just a basic color demo. So what I want to kind of start with is our best treatment. And so with our beautiful mannequin today, we have went ahead and I kind of lightened her in the front already. And we have a couple different little segments going on here. That way I can kind of show you in our time constraints, all of the things that we're going to talk about today. So how we started, and I know her hair looks a little bit dry. That is because we pH'd her before we started the class. So I'm just going to re-wet her just a tiny bit, because we do want to make sure that whenever we are working with our GK taming system, that the hair is wet, damp. We don't want to put it on dry hair. So the very first thing that we're going to do whenever we're deciding to do a GK taming system is we are going to start with our consultation. And so whenever our client comes in, we're going to ask them, what is their hair goal, right? What are they looking for? And let's say today we're going to call our client Sarah. Let's say that Sarah came in today and she said, I just really am tired of my frizz and my wave. And so I want to kind of get rid of that. And I want to not spend as much time styling my hair. So that in those comments shows me that she's a great candidate. Though any client that sits in your chair can be a candidate for a smoothing or a taming system. And that's going to help me decide when she tells me what she's looking for, which treatment would be her best option. So Sarah, let's say, lives a very active lifestyle. She likes to go to the gym daily. She is on the run all the time. She wants to spend less time doing her hair, and she wants to sedate the frizz. So knowing those things that she says to me, I'm going to know that our best taming system is going to be an amazing option for Sarah. And the reason why is because this taming system is going to sedate frizz. It's going to create softness, smooth, shiny hair. It's going to repair the hair, and it's going to help rejuvenate it back to its youthful state. It is going to cut her styling time in half, which is something that she is really looking for. It can keep the hair's natural texture, and the results can last up to 5 months, as well as being fortified with Jevexin. So I know I just said, right, it can keep the hair's natural texture. That is one of the major key aspects of using our GK Best formula, because the best formula is completely customizable. So meaning if Sarah was a client who came in and she had a curl pattern that perhaps she just wanted to soften and knock out the frizz a little bit, but not completely get rid of her frizz, we're also able to do that with the GK Best system. And I'll kind of go into a chart in a little bit, and I'll show you how it is that we do that. So today with Sarah, she doesn't have completely curly hair. She has a little bit of wave in there. And then again, she just wants to make her hair look healthier, shinier, and then cut her styling time down. So even though she doesn't have a true curly hair type, she's still a great candidate for the best. So again, in our consultation that we have, we're determining the client's desired result. And then we're also going to ask her during this consultation, it's very important to ask your client if they're using any type of medication, or if they're pregnant or they're nursing. I, in the past, have done taming systems on clients who are pregnant or nursing, but we as hair professionals, it's not really our job to be physicians. So whenever you do this consultation, whether it be on in person, I know on the phone consultations happen now because we have such great technology means to where we can even do them on FaceTime. Whenever a client tells you that they are pregnant or nursing, I would like to advise you to have them go to the GK website, because on our GK website, we are completely transparent. Anything that is inside of our products is listed. You are able to pull it in the MSDS sheet. You're able to get whatever ingredients are in our systems. So I would advise you to have that client just make a phone call to their primary care physician or their OBGYN and have them just ask, hey, these are the ingredients. Would it be okay for me to use this system on my hair while I'm pregnant or nursing? Or say maybe they're in the midst of some intense treatments medically. Again, just have them double check. And the reason why is because that just kind of protects you as a hair care provider, but also protects your client, because you want to make sure that you provide the best service to them possible. Again, I personally have done them, but I am not a physician or a healthcare provider, and it was within the clearance of my client's OBGYN or primary care provider. So just a little side note to make sure inside of your consultation, that is a question that we're asking. Our product is not going to put off really harsh fumes. It's not going to create any burning in the eyes. But again, we want to make sure that we're providing the best care possible to our clients. We're also going to ask them if they have any allergies. We are also going to ask them about their hair history. We kind of want to know, when was the last time you colored your hair? What type of color did you use? We also want to ask them if they've had any previous keratin treatments or relaxers. It is safe to use the best system over previously straightened or treated hair. You just want to make sure that you know within what time frame that you're performing this service. We also want to always check the client's overall hair type. So again, that's going to help us decide how long we're going to let this system set, and then again, what their overall result is. And then again, the overall condition of the hair. So it's always important to make sure that the hair is in a condition to where too much heat is not going to hurt the hair. So it's very important to go through the consultation prior to even starting the service. So again, we're going to analyze the density and the curl formation. So with her hair, we can see she has some wave, quite a bit of frizz. Of course, with the mannequin, they all got frizzy hair, right? We are going to determine the client's expectations. So with our best system, we can actually reduce the curl pattern quite a bit, and we can provide sleek, smooth hair, or we can just reduce frizz. So we want to really ask, what is the client's expectation today? And we want to establish a realistic result, right? So you want to make sure that you let the client know that regardless of whatever taming system that we're using, it is going to reduce the curl pattern and tame the frizz, but there is going to be a time to where you are going to need to use like your brush and blow dryer just a tiny bit to be able to get that extreme smoothness if you're going for a full sleek look. We're also going to establish a price for the service. I don't really like to get into pricing too much, just because different areas of the country, they kind of charge different pricing, right? But you always want to make sure that you are being fair to yourself. And especially with the industry the way that it is right now, we all know that we've seen an increase in all product prices. So be sure that whenever you're determining how to price this service, I always like to encourage, like, think about how much do you charge for a haircut, because generally most stylists behind the chair, right, if we're doing like a haircut shampoo style, it's about an hour service. And that's how I determine what I make per hour. So look at this more as your time instead of just an overall pricing. And if you have any more questions about pricing and things like that, I would be happy to help you. You can DM me. You can get my information from GK. I am on social media, Instagram, it's at StyleCB, the Hair Shaman, and I will be able to help you with pricing the service for whatever area that you're in. And then you also want to always make sure prior to even starting the service, during your consultation, that you discuss aftercare products. And the reason why it's so important is because just like we talked about, protecting your investment whenever it comes to our color, right? And not buying drugstore shampoo and conditioner to protect your $200 color. It's the same thing with our taming system. So your client is going to see a lot better results, extended results over time if they're using the proper aftercare products. And so again, all of GK's products are infused with that Jevexin, even our shampoos and conditioners. So by them using our aftercare products, they are just going to ensure, again, their investment of their taming system, and it's going to prolong the life of the system. So, yes. Any questions? Sorry, thought I heard someone. No? Okay. All right. So we talked about that. So the first thing that we did is we pH shampooed her hair. And GK has a pH plus shampoo. It has a pH level of 8.5. And what this is going to do is it's going to open the cuticle of the hair. It's going to remove any excess styling products, buildup, dry shampoo, sweat, because she's a gym girl, right? It's going to get all of that out, and it's going to prep the hair for the taming system. Whenever I am shampooing a client's hair with a pH shampoo, what I want to determine is how dirty is their hair, right? So you can actually shampoo this up to 3 times. So I always recommend 2 to 3 times that we're going to shampoo the client's hair with our pH plus shampoo. And each time that I shampoo their hair, I'm going to let the shampoo set anywhere between 2 to even up to 5 minutes, kind of determining again on the client's hair, porosity, the buildup on it, excuse me, to make sure again that we are going to make sure that we are really getting that cuticle clean and prepared for the treatment. You don't want to overstimulate the scalp too much, like scratching with your nails, because you don't want to, when we are applying the treatment, for that to irritate their scalp in any way, shape, or form. So you want to make sure that you work the hair links and ends really well, but do make sure, don't use your finger nails. But I always like to make sure, especially back towards the nape of the neck in this area, sometimes we tend to miss this. And when you have clients that have extremely curly hair, this can be a problem area for them. So you want to make sure that you just use the pads of your fingers and massage that pH plus shampoo into that hairline. That way you're not having clients contact you after you do the service and they're like, hey, it didn't take very well, maybe like around my ears or the back of my neck. And one of the biggest ways I feel like to not have that happen is make sure that you really use the pads of your fingers and get that pH shampoo in there, because we also have clients that use a lot of makeup, right? Or root sprays or things like that. And that's going to be right around the hairline. So we want to make sure that we really, really get that clarified to make sure that we're giving the best overall treatment that we can. Okay, so that is our pH plus shampoo. Does anybody have any questions about prepping the hair? Because the preparation of the hair is one of the most important parts of the taming system. Remember, if we do not get this hair clean and we're not starting with a clean base or a clean canvas, we're not going to get the desired results that our client is looking for from the taming system. So the prep work is the foundation for your service. It is extremely, extremely important to make sure that we pH plus the hair and get it clean for the service. Everybody got that? pH plus is so important. Awesome. Okay, so we pH plus our client's hair. I'm gonna grab a brush. Our GK vent brush, such a great brush to use. We're gonna make sure our client is detangled because we don't want to rip through their hair whenever we're applying our best treatment. And whenever I'm doing the best, I like to start with 4 quadrants on a general basis, just like, you know, a typical all over color application. And I'm just gonna part her a little bit. So with our best treatment, like I was saying earlier, this is completely customizable. So we're able to not only create like tame, smooth hair, but we're able to just reduce reduce frizz. We are able to reduce the curl pattern as well. So this can also be used on someone that has no curly hair at all. Maybe their hair is just frizzy, or maybe it just feels dry and it's lacking some protein and nutrition in it. Still a great option to incorporate a taming system, because it's going to give your client Jevexin as well as some healthy, shiny hair. So do not think just whenever a person sits in your chair because they do not have coarse, curly, thick hair that they are not a good candidate for a taming system. Every client can benefit from a taming system. And over time, as your clients do get taming systems in their hair, it also will help your color take better, and it'll extend the life of your color because they have a sealed off smooth cuticle. It's not going to be as porous and broken, so it's going to allow the color to stay in a little bit longer and penetrate the cuticle better. So with our best formula, this is our best formula. We have a 10.1 ounce size in this. We also have a child size in this, which I believe is 3.4 ounces. So if it's something that, hey, maybe I haven't tried GK before, this is the first time for me hearing about it, you can actually get into the program of using our taming systems without having to make a super huge investment and try it. I promise your clients are going to love it. And then you can move on to one of our larger sizes. So 3.4 ounce, one-time use, 10.1 ounce size of the best. So this is our original best. And if you're familiar with GK at all, we also have vegan options in the best as well. And then we also have our 33 ounce size, which is going to be our back bar size. It's a liter size. So anytime before you start this application, you guys can see me shaking this like a crazy person. I always like to make sure that I shake up whatever I'm using, because whenever we are dealing with any type of chemical, this is going to be setting right on our back bar. So everything's going to kind of settle to the bottom in any of our products. So it's always good to give it a really nice shake. Again, I went with this system for our client today because based off our consultation, she lives a really active lifestyle. So that means with this system, there is no downtime. So whenever we perform the taming system with the best today, she's actually able to wash her hair, blow dry her hair, go on about her life. And that's also how we're able to do a color directly after we do our smoothing. So the same way that I'm performing this on the mannequin today, as far as doing the taming first and then doing our color, that's exactly how you would want to do it in a salon setting and situation. And the reason being is because there is no downtime with this actual system. So whenever we're applying our taming system, I always like to start with just an ounce. So I'm going to squeeze just a little bit. Sorry, this is a brand new bottle. I'm going to squeeze just a little bit into my bowl. I like to start with an ounce. And the reason why I like to start with an ounce is because once we squeeze or put this product into our bowl and we get it out of its original container, you cannot put it back in here. So as we all know, with inflation, right, and the economy and things right now where we are trying to figure out how to preserve costs behind the chair, we don't want to waste product. So we can always put more in the bowl, but we cannot put it back in the bottle. So I know, like, if you have a client that has like extremely long hair, thick hair, you're going to be like, well, I know it's going to take more than that. I understand. But again, just kind of start with a little bit and then apply and put more into your bowl. So this is kind of the consistency of the best. So you guys can kind of see what it looks like. I'm gonna go ahead and put on my gloves before I apply this. I know some people don't like to work with gloves. As a brand, we do recommend that you always use any gloves whenever you're using any type of chemical services. And whenever I've sectioned my client's hair off, whenever I'm going to start this application, again, I wanna make sure that the hair is good and damp. I don't wanna apply it to dry hair. I wanna take 1/4 of an inch sections, just like if I was kind of applying an all over color. So here's kind of our section size. And what I'm going to do is I am going to take the product, and we also have a brush comb application brush as well. I personally like to use my brush in a comb. I don't know, I'm kind of strange. Everybody kind of has their own vices, right? Like that they to use their tools behind the chair. So I like to use just a brush. I feel like I have a little bit more control. So with this, you're seeing I am not putting a huge amount of product onto my brush. A little bit goes a long way. You do want to make sure that it is applied all the way to the hair, or that the hair is saturated with the product, but you don't want to oversaturate it either, because that's where you're going to get your smoke or your burn off whenever you're doing your blow dry and flat iron with this product. So I am going to go and I'm going to apply it. And I am going to apply, let me move this a little closer so you guys can see. I am going to apply this right off the scalp. I do not want to go directly onto my client's scalp. I want to go right up to the scalp. And then I like to take my fingers like a peace sign, and I like to make sure that I work the solution into the hair cuticle. So as I'm doing this, we're going to kind of talk about how we're able to make this a customizable treatment. And because whenever we were talking with our client during the consultation, we determined she just wants to kind of eliminate her frizz, make her hair shiny and healthy, and cut styling time down in half. So how we do that is how long the product sets on the client's head. And I just like to take my comb and just make sure it's fully saturated. And how we determine how long that it's going to set on our client's head is from this amazing little chart. And I'm pretty sure that we can post a picture in the comments. This is available on GK's website. It is available whenever you order from the company. It is together, usually like this. It's a little book. And it has a chart in the front. So it's going to have you say fine hair, medium hair, coarse hair. So with our client today, she has pretty coarse hair. It's colored and it's damaged. So we want to either control frizz. I don't know if you guys can see this very well. So it'll say right here, it says frizz control. It says smooth wave, sleek control, or smooth straight. So those are the options. We can either control frizz, we can smooth wave, we can give like a sleek control, or we can literally smooth and go straight, depending on what the client's desired result was. And then we're going to look at fine, medium, or coarse hair, damaged, colored, or natural. So medium hair, or we said coarse hair, we said it's damaged, colored, and natural. So I'm going to go down here to my chart where it says frizz control at the bottom. And we know that we're going to look, and it says for our client today that the product should set 20 minutes. This product can literally set anywhere between 5 minutes for your super fine natural hair that's just wanting frizz control, all the way up to 60 minutes for your coarse, colored, natural, damaged hair, and they're wanting a smooth, sleek, straight look. Any questions? The amount of time that we are leaving the product processing on the client's hair is what is going to determine the overall result. So with our client today getting frizz control on her hair, this is only going to have to set 15 minutes. And that's after we get the solution applied to the entire part of the client's hair that we are smoothing. So I'm going to continue to go up with my 1/4 of an inch sections. And we are going to apply the product again, right off the scalp of the hair. I would say literally like 1/8 of an inch away. We're going to apply it. I'm going to use my fingers, make sure it is into the cuticle directly how I want it. And we are going to pull it through. Super easy, no fumes, no burning, no irritation to my eyes, which is a great aspect of our best treatment. And again, with this actual system, this results are going to last 3 to 5 months for your client. So again, we're just applying that all the way down and through. And we're going to keep working all the way up our client's hair using the 1/4 of an inch sections and applying it through. I'm going to do one more section for you guys, and then we're going to kind of talk about once this sets, right, for the 15 minutes, what is the process after that? So again, one more demo of the actual application. So again, a 1/4 of an inch section. And if they have really, really coarse, tight, curly hair, I would even recommend making your sections 1/8 of an inch. So again, you want to use your professional judgment during your consultation to determine the client's hair type, porosity, things like that, to make sure that when you are taking sections of the client's hair, that you are able to completely saturate the section that you're using. And again, I'm just going to make sure that's completely saturated and through the client's hair. And as you can see, you can see kind of the shine that's going into the client's hair with the taming system. So what we would do now is we would actually let the treatment itself set on the client's hair for 15 minutes. And after it sets for 15 minutes, then we would take our client back to the shampoo bowl. And when we take the client back to the shampoo bowl, at this point, this is whenever we would rinse the product from the hair. So we will want to use warm water. And again, all of these steps can be found inside of this lovely booklet, as well as online from GK Education. So we're gonna take her back, we're gonna rinse with warm water. We want to make sure that the product, the best, is completely removed from the client's hair. You want to make sure you see the water running clear. So once it's completely removed, you can also use your GK Color Protection Moisturizing Shampoo and shampoo lightly. It's a light shampoo. This is our moisturizing shampoo. This is also the at-home product that we recommend that they take home. And again, you can see it says hair taming fortified with Javexin. You are going to lightly shampoo that out of the client's hair. And then we are going to apply the GK Deep Conditioner. I'm going to have my lovely assistant grab me the deep conditioner off the shelf. And we are going to apply the GK Deep Conditioner to the client's hair after we rinse it, lightly shampoo it, and we're going to let it set for 5 minutes once we apply it. It's a small white jar, bottom shelf. And this is our GK Deep Conditioner. It's a deep conditioning mask. So this is available in this size. We also have sachets that are available for purchase as well as a 33-ounce liter back bar size. If you're doing a lot of these taming treatments, I highly recommend that you go ahead and just invest and get you your liter back bar size. It's also a great add-on service for any client as well. So that is the GK Deep Conditioner. And we are going to apply that at the shampoo bowl for 5 minutes. So we let it set for 15 to 60 minutes. We are going to rinse it completely with warm water, a light shampoo, not an aggressive shampoo. Then we're going to apply our deep conditioner at the bowl, and we're going to let it set for 5 minutes. Then we're going to rinse that with warm water, and we're going to make sure that we completely get the product out of the hair. So now we're going to move to another quadrant of our mannequin's hair. And on this quadrant, we are going to demo for you how we would do our blow dry and our flat iron following the best application. So again, on this side, we're going to say we have just finished our best application. We have applied the deep conditioner. We've rinsed the product completely. Now we're going to bring her back to our ball, and we are going to blow dry and flat iron her hair. So whenever we are blow drying after the best treatment, With this particular system, we want to make sure that we use our blow dryer settings on high velocity and high heat. Our blow dry on the best system is very, very important. I know I get a lot of questions a lot of times with how many passes in particular do I have to do in order to get the hair as tame as I'm wanting it to. It is more important on this particular system, our blow dry. So we want to make sure with our blow dry, again, that we're using high heat, high velocity. And on our GK blow dryer, our system or settings on this is basically you're going to push both buttons all the way to the top. Okay. And for this, I'm going to use my GK round brush. I am such a big fan of these round brushes. I'm an even bigger fan now because I actually seen a celebrity stylist using our GK round brush on the Good Morning Show. And the really cool thing about these brushes is, if you've seen a class with me before, I talk about it all the time because I love it, and efficiency and ergonomic tools are so important to me behind the chair because it not only cuts time, but it helps my hands. It helps me overall as a stylist. These actually have a magnet in them. So as you can see, they will set on metal right in front of the camera like so, and stand up straight. So that's an awesome just added plus to our round brushes. And I use toolboxes, so it's great to be able to set my brushes up. So again, we're going to start this blow dry, high heat, high velocity. You're gonna push it all the way up. When we are going to do our blow dry, again, we're gonna take a fourth of an inch, eighth of an inch section, whatever you feel comfortable with. If you have super fine here, you could even go into a half an inch section. But the most important thing is that you want to remember professionally is, can I get the proper amount of tension in that section to get it to where I need it to be? So we are going to go in, and I like to start right at the nape, and I am going to blow dry with intention. So I don't want to do like erratic blow drying, because however you set the hair at this point after we apply the product is how the hair is going to stay. So if I'm doing like a free blow dry at first to knock out some of the dampness of the hair, that's going to create frizz in the hair, and we're not going to get the desired results that our client is looking for. So you want to make sure, again, that you blow dry with intention. You're using your sections, you're using tension, you're using the right amount of heat and velocity. So high heat, high velocity. I'm going to keep the nozzle of my blow dryer slightly above the client's hair because I do not want to burn their hair or their scalp. And as I move my round brush down, I'm also moving my blow dryer nozzle in the same direction. So we are just going concurrently with our round brush. And side note, I've already changed this mannequin's hair, so you're able to actually see on this side how nice and sweet the hair can be. And you want to make sure that when you're doing this, that you do get the client's hair 100% dry. You do not want to leave any type of dampness in here whatsoever, because again, if we do, then we are not going to get the desired results that we promise to our client. So again, we're just kind of blow drying with intention. We're making sure that we got a nice amount of tension. I don't want to rip her hair out, but if I let go of my brush, you can see that it kind of stays there. So I have a little bit of tension in there. And also GK's brushes are designed with boar bristles as well as our regular bristles to make sure that it's adding shine, but we're able to get the tension that we need. So using the tools that GK gives you also helps you get the desired result that you're looking for, all the way down to our blow dryer and our round brushes. So this is kind of just with the blow dry. You can already see the shine in the mannequin's hair. So we're going to actually continue that all the way throughout the client's hair with the blow dry. We are going to get it 100% dry. We're going to make sure that we're using really, really good tension. And once we get it 100% dry, then that's when we are going to move into our ironing process. And for that today, we're also going to use our GK iron. I like the irons with the wider plates, just because whenever I'm working through hair, it's time efficient. It also has titanium plates, which is very, very important. Whenever you're doing any of our taming systems, you want to make sure that you're using an iron whose plates are titanium. So I am going to let our iron heat up a little bit. Does anyone have any questions thus far about the application, about the blow dry?
No, but you're doing an excellent job. Your fundamentals are superb. I'm really enjoying this class.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So thank you. We are now going to move into the ironing process. And so 100% dry, we got our iron. Whenever I am doing ironing, I know a while ago I was saying like 1/4 of an inch sections. I want to really concentrate on my section size with my blow dry and my ironing. So if I have, again, that super, super coarse hair, I'm going to want to take a smaller section to make sure that I can really get that cuticle sealed off with my iron and I'm giving the client the desired results. I know it's going to take a little bit more time, right? But that's why we charge appropriately for our time. So that way we don't kind of rush the process. So I'm going to take my iron and I'm just going to go in and I'm going to seal the cuticle. And you can literally see the cuticle sealing whenever you're doing this. Again, I know people are like, number of passes, how many passes do I do? The most important thing is the blow dry. So with our flat iron, you always want to kind of start at the lowest temperature and work your way up to the highest. So right now I put it like halfway. So on this particular iron, that's going to be 3 in. If I don't feel like with the 3, I'm really seeing that cuticle being sealed off. Fine hair, right? We're going to use kind of a lower heat because we don't want to damage the hair. A medium texture hair, we could use a little bit more of the medium range of heat. And when you've got that dense, we're talking like 3C, 4C type of hair, you're going to want to use high heat on your iron. But again, go back to your professional side of your brain and let's think about our consultation, right? Where we determine the client's hair, the damage, the porosity, all of those things. So again, we're going to go in and you only need to iron it enough to where you see the cuticle seal off. You will be able to see that take place. So I usually like to do just a few passes. I'm going to turn our lovely Sarah here. And as you can see, even with mannequin hair, right, that we've done crazy things to, all of the shine. And you can see that sealed off cuticle and just the sleekness that they're able to get from this. So one more time with the iron, appropriate section size, appropriate heat. We are going to flat iron with our titanium iron, and we are going to ensure that we're sealing the cuticle off and giving the client the desired result that she was looking for today. So again, all that nice, beautiful shine. So now once we do that, right, and we go through Sarah's entire head of smoothing or blow drying and flat ironing, at this point is when we would talk about color. So Sarah, because like we said, she goes to the gym, she lives an active lifestyle, she wants no downtime. So after we set this product into place with our blow dry and flat iron, it's set, it's done. She can wash her hair, she can run, she can go to the gym, she can put her hair in a ponytail, she can live her best life. But if your client's wanting a color service in the same day as her taming system, once we get to this point with Sarah, this is when we would go in to apply the color. Now, here is where it's very, very, very important to remember when we're talking about color and smoothing. We are able to do color and smoothing in the same day, but when you are doing color in the same day as smoothing, you are only allowed to use your 8 volume and your 10 volume developer. So post smoothing treatment, nothing higher than a 10 volume developer can be put on the client's hair. So why do you guys, let's see if we can get a little interaction from our people on live right now. Why do you guys think that we cannot use a 20 volume developer with a color right after a taming system? Can anybody answer that for me? Anybody at all? I got any other hair nerds out there like myself? No ideas? So the reason why we cannot put a 20 volume developer on the hair right after a taming system is, what does our 20 volume do? It opens the cuticle, right? So whenever we're using a 20 volume, it will kind of lift and deposit. So what we don't want to do is post taming system is reopen that cuticle back up, right? And then have our taming system kind of just not work the way we wanted it to. We do not want to reopen that cuticle. So we are going to use our 8 or our 10 volume developer. Now, Candace, what about gray coverage? That's a big question a lot of people always have. Whenever you're dealing with a client and they want to do 2 services in the same day, and we're talking gray coverage, we can only use our 8 and 10 volume developer. Our GK color is formulated for 100% gray coverage, but we always say that's with the 20 volume developer. So the way that we kind of work this is, and we're gonna talk to our client during our consultation. We're gonna let Sarah know, hey Sarah, there's a couple of different things that we can do with your gray coverage today with doing your taming system. So first of all, if I use just a 10 volume, I can get some gray coverage in your hair with our 10 volume, but it's not going to be opaque, meaning it's not going to be like a full coverage. It's going to be more translucent. If she's not wanting kind of that translucent coverage in her gray, which I'm actually kind of finding some of my clients now are liking a little bit more of a translucent coverage because it's not such a harsh grow out whenever their hair grows in. So that's, again, just another professional side note that I'm seeing. But I am going to let her know that what I can do is, say she normally uses a level 6 for her gray coverage for her root. Today, I'm going to add some 5 to your original formula. So I'm actually going to bump that level up just a little bit. And the reason why is so that I can get that opaque coverage. So whenever you are doing taming and color in the same day, make sure that during your consultation, this is a conversation that you have. We're going to do, we can only use a 10 volume developer. I can either A, bump your formula, make it a little bit darker so I can get that coverage, or B, we're going to give you a little bit of a translucent root. Does that make sense? I want to make sure that I didn't lose anyone there, because it is very important to remember whenever you're doing smoothing and color in the same day.
It does make sense.
Okay. So for Sarah today, what we are going to do is we're actually going to use an 8 volume. And Sarah here, she wanted to have some really bright, fun money pieces, right? So we're going to do a little bit of color blocking in the front. And with Sarah's hair, because we're not kind of worrying about gray coverage today, we're just going to go with the 8 volume. So we're going to deposit it directly onto this hair right after our taming system. But if Sarah did have gray hair, I always want to encourage you guys, whenever you are applying your color, make sure you start where you have most of the gray at first. So a lot of times, most of my clients' gray hair comes in right here, right in all these little problem areas, right around the face. And so if we were worried about gray coverage today, right after our taming system, we would definitely want to work right here first and apply our product just to make sure that we are getting the gray coverage that Sarah is looking for. You also want to make sure that when you're determining your sections to apply your color, you don't want to use super, super thick sections. You want to make sure that you take your sectioning enough to where the color is going to penetrate it, and you're not going to have to worry about having any spots to where you didn't get full coverage with the hair. I know that, again, that sounds kind of trivial, but when we get to working behind the chair, time's money, we get to moving a little bit fast. And sometimes maybe the reason we're not getting the coverage that we're looking for right after a taming system is because we're not taking the appropriate amount of sectioning of the hair when we're applying the color. So This is a really appropriate size of section. We are going to apply the GK 7.26 scale. And we are going to actually measure our color 1 to 1.5. So whenever we are using GK color, we want to make sure that we're using the correct weight or ratio of developer to color. So I always want to encourage you guys to make sure you use a scale and that you work on grams, right? So if I am going to use 10 grams of color today, then I'm going to put 10 grams of color onto my scale. And if I'm working 1 to 1.5, what would be my ratio of developer? So 10 grams of color to 15 grams of developer. So 1 to 1.5. And again, you want to make sure that you always weigh this to make sure that you get the appropriate consistency, but also to make sure that the color works appropriately. That's one of the things that sets us apart as being a professional hairstylist, right? Is the fact that we actually weigh our product. So 1 to 1.5, you're gonna get a really nice consistency. I just want you guys to kind of look at our cream color, the consistency of it. If you're a colorist, you know you're really super weird about the consistency of color. So we're gonna take our color now and we are going to make sure that we apply it from root to ends. And again, if she has gray hair, the reason why we want to start in the front, right, is so that we make sure that it sets the appropriate amount of time and we get the gray coverage that we're looking for. So all over color application, sectioning is so important. Make sure that your section is small enough to where you can actually saturate the hair with the amount of color that you're needing. Another really good thing that I just thought of right now as I'm painting my client's head is I generally like to use some type of protector on my client's skin even before I start the color application. So even with Sarah being a mannequin, this is something we can do as well. Our GK argan oil, it's 100% argan oil. Our serum is an amazing base protector. It's also really good for your skin. So you could actually just take a little bit of this when you're working right around the hairline right here in the front, and you can actually apply it right to the client's hairline and skin, just to ensure that that color doesn't bleed all over her face. Considering we're using like a 7.26 of GK, which is our irisy color, it's going to, it could definitely stain her head a little bit. And because for time constraints today, after this color processes and I shampoo her out, I will have GK post in the comments, or I'll post in the comments kind of the after effect, so you can actually see the irisy color on the mannequin's hair. So again, we're just going to apply this, make sure that this section is saturated completely. We all know mannequin's hair is a lot of fun to saturate. And we're going to work right from our mid shaft to our ends. Now, say that we had a client who had some really porous open ends and we were doing our color refresh, and say that I was using like a level 7 up here. It is okay to go ahead and use like a level 8 through the ends for a refresh, because it'll wind up being a 7 anyways. So again, just another kind of professional side note. And whenever I'm working here at the hairline, one of the things that I found where it's really easy to apply color is I always kind of like to bring this hair back just a little. I mean, this is already kind of laying on her face, but you don't want it to lay all across their face. You want to make sure that your clients are comfortable and we're not getting anything in their eyes during our application. So I like to kind of diagonal back my sections like so, and then take it. That way I can pull away from her face instead of toward her face. And it'll just make it a lot more comfortable for your client. So again, we're just going to work that through and make sure that we get it saturated completely all the way from the root to the ends. That way we get appropriate coverage, saturation, and a good overall finished look for our clients today. And then I'll take one more section for application. And as you can see, again, section size is so important. And I'm using those diagonal partings around her face just to make sure that I'm making it comfortable for her. And a lot of times when we are working with like colored money pieces, even blonde money pieces, things like that, we know that our sectioning is going to be super, super important to get that awesome desired look. This 726, the RSE, even the 6.22 in GK, which is more of a purpley color, I've been using quite a bit already, integrating people's hair into the fall time. So those are beautiful, beautiful fall shades. And it's also pretty awesome to just add those little pops around the face. So I'm really excited to kind of share with you guys the after picture. So you guys go back and look at the comments here in just a little while after the class ends. So that way you can really see the end result of our beautiful IRC colors. And again, this is a mannequin, so I'm just making sure that she is nice and saturated appropriately. Okay, so we've got that applied to that section. And then, because this is a deposit only color and we're using an 8 volume, our processing time for this will be 30 minutes. So then we would let the client's color set for 30 minutes. After that 30 minutes is up, we're going to shampoo and condition as normal and blow dry and style and then send her on her way. So we were able to do the smoothing and the color in the same day, the same appointment for your client. I wanted to kind of touch base on the fact of how she was kind of highlighted first. What I like to do whenever I have a client that's coming in for maybe like a highlight service is I will highlight my client first, then I will do our taming system, and then I'll go back and tone with my 8 volume developer after the taming system. And the reason why is if I highlight and pre-tone, right, our taming system could lift a little bit of that toner out. And also that's not the safest way to apply in this situation with our products. So you would always want to do your highlight, smooth, then apply your color with, or your toner with your 8 or 10 volume developer afterwards. And as you can see, she's already kind of starting to turn a little red and a little irisy in there. So this will be a really pretty contrast. And I'm going to go ahead and probably have my assistant do the other side of her money pieces as well with the irisy. So that way you can see the final product, the beautiful fall shade color in the comments here in just a little while. Does anybody have any questions?
No, Candace, you've done a good job. I was actually driving while I was looking through the car, looking at the presentation. But you've done a great job with Sarah.
Thank you. I think Sarah is going to be really happy with her hair afterwards. She's going to have some great money pieces for the gym. So remember, guys, to always recommend your aftercare. If you do have any questions, if you're looking to integrate smoothing systems into your service menu in the salon, I always encourage you guys, go to our GKhair website. Please go to our education portal. GK has also created some amazing social media libraries to where they already have posts from pre-made for Instagram and also for Facebook, to where you can actually go and copy the picture, and you can also copy and paste the text and then add your own hashtags to it. So if you are a digital creator or you create content like I do, we know that's a full-time job. Takes a lot of time, especially when you're trying to market new services behind the chair. So GK has done us a great favor and already kind of took the guesswork out of that for us. So you can go to our social media library and just pull those images, pull the verbiage, and go ahead and start marketing this in your market. Taming is an amazing thing to add to your service menu with back to school. You got to think, parents are going to have less time to get ready in the morning because they're shuffling their kids out the door to go to school. Kids, teenagers, I have teenage daughters, it's going to cut their time in the bathroom down in half with their styling time. So college kids, all of that. This is a really awesome time for you to integrate smoothing into your service menu. And we also give you the marketing available to do that as well. So if you guys have any further questions, again, I just want to navigate you guys to our education portal. We have tons of videos, tons of information. I know that GK Hair always has amazing customer service reps that are available to answer your questions. And you can always feel free to reach out to me via social media. Again, I'm on Instagram at Styles, STYLEZ CB. You can DM me. I promise I will answer your questions. And I hope you guys really incorporate this into your service menu. Anybody can benefit from a taming system. It literally creates the healthiest hair possible for your clients. And again, it's going to give you the long-term longevity of your colors, the smoothness and brightness that you're looking for, and get rid of all that damage and porosity that's there that is actually pushing the color out in your color services. So again, I want to thank you guys for your time. Thank you to GK Hair for giving us such amazing products. And y'all guys tune in next Monday, because every Monday we have live education for you. Be blessed. And if no one has anything else, yes?
No, Ms. Barnes, you did a good job. Hope you have a good day. Tell your assistant
Thank you so much.
too. Yes, take care.
Yes, I will. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Fahad. Do you have anything to add?
Thank you, Candice. Everything good. Great class.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. You guys have a great day.
You too. Bye.